going on, everybody? This is Pastor Shay, aka Chaplain G, coming back at y'all with another word of encouragement for today. So, let me give y'all the word of encouragement right up front. Be the change you want to see in the world. I know you've probably heard that a time or two, man. So many different sources have said something like that. If you want to make a change, look at the man in the mirror. It takes you back to the old Michael Jackson song. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Which sounds like he might have gotten it from somebody else. But anyway, man, there's so many different iterations of this. If you want to see change in the world, it starts with yourself. That's how I want to say it today. And I'm going to stick with the story of Gideon. Because Gideon had this opportunity, right? Like I told y'all yesterday, this dude was just fearful. He just kind of lived a fearful life and saw some changes that need to be made, but was too fearful to go and make them himself, right? And God understood that. God, the great thing about God, man, and why I feel like I don't think I'll be anything other than a Christian, it's because God knows our frame. God knows exactly who we are, man. So if we're fearful or we got addictions to certain stuff, if we are just mean-spirited on the inside, and we're trying to, we want to change it, but stuff just comes out, right? God is faithful and just, that the good works that he starts, he's going to see it all the way through to completion. And what he's looking for from us is to be willing participants, like to align our soul, our spirit, our mindset, our lifestyle, our body with what he would like to see in our lives. And so that's how God approaches Gideon. He says to him, I need you to go rescue your people out of the hand of the Midianites. And Gideon's like, who am I, man? I'm just a dude. And my family's like, we're like the least of our people. And I'm like the last person in line of my family. Like, I'm the weakest of the weak. What do you want from me? And God essentially starts to make these changes within Gideon, right? And I don't really have a particular verse for today. I just have the story. I hope you guys go back and read it yourself. But as we look at the story of Gideon, right, there's three phases to the story of Gideon. There's the initial visitation from God. There's a scene where he goes down and tears down these altars. And then there's the scene where God makes him into like this mighty general. And there's the story of like him and the fleece, and he's like trying to ask for these things from God, and he takes a small band of people. If y'all remember the movie 300, the idea of that kind of comes from the story of Gideon, where he takes this small band of men, and they go down and chase off the Midianites, but it's God who does the battle, right? So that's the three phases, and the first phase of this whole thing is the most important, because God can't use Gideon the way he wants to until Gideon starts to make a change for himself. So in that very first scene, Gideon runs inside the house as God is talking to him. He's preparing a meal for him. God tells him, lay the portions of what you're going to offer for me to kind of have this meal with you. Lay it on the altar. And then God consumes it in the fire. You can see that looking at the story verses is Judges chapter 6, verses 25 through like 27. And I'll leave that right here up on the screen, right? But that's essentially what God needs. God needs people to make these changes in their life so that he can use them for bigger and better things. So maybe you got stuff going on. Like I mentioned some things before, like maybe you sit around just with these evil thoughts in your mind. And God is looking at your life and he's like, man, I got so many things for you to do. And I need you and I to work together to kind of weed this stuff out of you. Maybe you got some kind of addiction, right? Maybe you drink too much. And God is like, man, there's so many things I want to do with you. But we got to get past this thing you got going on. And I know it's hard to overcome. For Gideon, it was fear. And God, it's not like God waited until all the fear was gone in order to use him. He just needed to make that one initial change. He just needed to see that God was bigger than his current circumstances. Just that mind frame change was enough for God to take Gideon within his fear and use him to save his people from the hand of their enemies. So, whatever that thing is for you, man, whatever it is, I just want you to think on it for a quick second. Just pause and think about what that thing is that's keeping you from God using you in a mighty way. And I want you to take that thing and I want you to say, God, you are bigger than this thing. Help me make this small change so that you can use me. Man, I feel like if we did that, right? I feel like if we were able to just kind of get past our current circumstance, man, God's kingdom is gonna rule and reign the way it already does, but it's gonna rule and reign inside of us. So, man, I hope that's an encouraging word for you. Today was a little bit different. I didn't have a verse necessarily to flash up to concentrate on. But go back and read the story, man. See how God kind of phased out Gideon's life. And I pray that your life phases out the same way. But I hope y'all doing good, man. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you made it all the way to this point in the video, go and click that thumbs up, man. It helps with the algorithm. Man, y'all know I love y'all. I'm here for you if you need me. My email's going to be down in the description. Until next time, grace and peace.